After numerous interviews with names like Rex Ryan, Ron Rivera, Aiden Dirty, and others, the Cowboys have finally landed on a name: Mike Zimmer. I didn't talk about it much on the channel, but Zimmer was my favorite name on the list of guys that Dallas interviewed. So let's talk about the Cowboys' new defensive coordinator, what his defenses have looked like in years past, and what we should expect from him as the Cowboys' new DC. Let's get into the video. The last time we saw Mike Zimmer coach in the NFL was during the 2021 season with the Minnesota Vikings. But before his tenure there, he actually coached for the Cowboys for 12 years, from 1994 to 2006. So going into this hiring process, the Cowboys were more than familiar with the name Mike Zimmer. And something that we talk about with this front office, they like familiarity, even if it was nearly 20 years ago. But I have to say right off the bat, I like this hire a lot. Well, a lot more than any of the other names that were interviewed, especially Rex Ryan. In his career, Zimmer has had some damn good defenses. Cowboys Stats on Twitter tweeted this a few days ago. By the way, a great follow on Twitter, so if you want, go check out his work. It's phenomenal. It'll be linked in the description of this video. So, ranking all pass defense unit seasons since 2006 by a predictive weighting of target quality, completion percentage over expected, and yards after catch. Number of seasons that Zimmer's defense is ranked in the top quartile, 9. And there are his numbers along with other candidates that the Cowboys had talked to. The second part of this tweet, the number of seasons his defense is ranked in the bottom quartile, just 1. Before we continue, real quick, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, head down there and hit that button. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and it would mean so much if you join the Double Move family. Now let's get back to talking about Mike Zimmer. I believe this chart was also tweeted by Cowboys Stats. It's looking at everything that we did with the last tweet. This time, it's against offenses that come from the Shanahan tree. So coaches that have coached with Shanahan, coached under him, etc., etc. What you want is your coordinator to be up and as far to the right as possible. As you can see, there is one name that stands out amongst everyone else. And then there's Dan Quinn, who went 1-3 against that style of offense this past season. Anyway, those two charts give you a good idea of how his defenses have performed in years past. The second chart gives you an idea of what he looks like against that new generation of play caller. The simple explanation is he's had a lot of units rank in the top and just one rank in the bottom. And like I mentioned earlier, he's a name that kind of stands out from the other interviewees. I do feel like you're getting a guy that is at least somewhat aware of how the NFL is changing every year. I forgot to mention earlier, but he hasn't been in the league since 2021. But that doesn't concern me like it would with Rex Ryan, who hasn't been in the league since 2015. At least Mike Zimmer might have a slight answer for how these new age offenses operate. Now, do I think he is miles better than Dan Quinn? Probably not, but I actually have hope for this unit next year. And that's really all I was looking for in this hire. If they would have hired a guy like Rex Ryan or Ron Rivera, I would have just kind of been like, bleh. Mike Zimmer seemed like the best option, and that's who they hired. What I like about Zimmer is he brings a little different tenacity to the table. And I don't necessarily mean just schematically. If you hear players talk about Zimmer, players that have played on his team, he's a hard-nosed, no BS guy. And instead of telling you about how the man is as a coach, just watch this quick video and you'll understand.
These guys will run through the wall for me. I'm gonna run through the wall for them. So, you know, if some feathers get ruffled sometimes, so be it.
The guy is pretty fiery. But what we're going to talk about in later videos is what happens with guys like Marquise Bell. Because this defense over the past 3 years has been built around what Dan Quinn likes to do. Do the Cowboys go out and sign a linebacker because Mike Zimmer wants an actual sized linebacker? So as the offseason continues and we get into training camp in the beginning of the 2024 season, that's going to be something we're going to have to pay attention to. We're going to keep an eye on all of that on the channel. And that pretty much wraps up the gist of Mike Zimmer. It's already 9 p.m. here on the East Coast, and I still have to edit this video. This is my second upload today, and if you love Cowboys videos, please make sure you go down there and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.